Demi Lovato has to be one of the most annoying Disney acts to ever exist, and one of the most disposable. And yes, I'm aware of how some of the messages she speaks of in her music helps people. However, her music is really nothing special or nothing that can be distinguished from everything else. Yes, she can sing, she's very talented, but sometimes you have to give more than just singing. I actually like her music more from her Disney days, and I think it had a nice cool edge, but still it was very run of the mill. She's just typically not a standout artist. Her music fits in with all the other cookie cutter pop songs that are always on the charts, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, imagine how tired we are hearing similar content and subject matter throughout her entire career. Sure, her deep cuts are a bit more distinguished and obviously emotional, but it's never a wow moment. She sort of plays into this Kelly Clarkson / Pink hybrid, but without their artistic edge and discography. Because even though Pink and Kelly Clarkson aren't as big as they used to be, they had these spotlight moments throughout their career that captivated the world and just dominated music for a period of time. And I don't think Demi has ever had that thus far. And the closest she's come to that moment in her career is probably when she was a product of Disney, because Disney commercializes their stars and plasters them everywhere. But even with that being, she still didn't exactly light the flame to her career as much as her contemporaries did. She's easily overshadowed. But the most annoying thing about Demi is her personality and how much she involves herself in situations she has no business being in. And it comes across as a form of insecurity, jealousy, and also a lot of misinformation on Demi's end on whoever she's going after. Starting with her issues with quote real bodies, like when she commented on an artist's drawing of her as a mermaid. The artist goes by the name of Vladimir Serbanescu. According to 17.com, Vladimir likes to incorporate mythology into his drawings, imagining his favorite celebrities as fairies and mermaids. All art is interpretation, and he happens to interpret his favorite celebrities as mythological creatures. So the fact Demi took the time to comment on his picture that he most likely spent tons of time on, just to nitpick that the picture didn't look exactly like her when it's a mythical creature, is ridiculous. I could see if he redrew a picture of her and made her body different, but it's simply fantasy art, and I thought she was overreacting. Then comes her Glamour magazine interview. In this interview, Demi was essentially shading Taylor Swift when she had that high-profile girl squad. Demi states, "I think in certain situations certain people could be doing more if they're going to claim that as a part of their brand." To be honest, and this will probably get me in trouble, I don't see anybody in any sort of squad that has a normal body. The normal body comment is just ridiculous. What is a normal body? This is the type of ideology that sways me away from the body negativity movement. All they do is shame skinny people and claim their bodies are not realistic or not normal. Obviously they are. Obviously not everyone is going to have similar bodies, but to allude that just because someone is thin, their body is not normal or it's unrealistic is ignorant. My thing is, if you're going to be all about body and empowerment, then stand in it fully, not selectively. Later in the same interview, she takes more jabs at Taylor Swift. Lovato says, "I think that having a song and a video about tearing Katy Perry down, that's not women empowerment." And I mean, she does sort of have a point, even though I think just because you have a beef or feud with someone doesn't mean that you're against an entire gender of people or a movement. Like, just because Taylor Swift and Katy Perry argue and are catty doesn't really affect or change the fact that they're for women empowerment. But that's just how I feel. It's an isolated feud, and to connect that with their overall views is a bit faulty. But one of the most annoying things that occurred after this obvious shade is that she tried to act clueless and downplay what she said and use a classic taken out of context excuse. And then she proceeds to own what she said, but then she deflects again. It would have been much more respectable if Demi just said, "Yeah, I said it, and that's how I feel." But instead she backtracks. That wouldn't be the last time Demi took more swipes at Taylor during the Kesha and Dr. Luke debacle. She took it a step even further. Demi was vocal about Taylor being silent on the situation. She released a series of tweets saying, "Women empowerment is tweeting at 2:30 a.m. knowing the consequences of these tweets and not giving a single fuck." Okay? Women empowerment is leading other women to make actual changes in our society. I'm also ready for self-proclaimed women empowerment people to start speaking out or taking action for women's rights. Then it was announced Taylor had made a $250,000 donation to Kesha, and Demi still found something to complain about. Take something to Capitol Hill or actually speak out about something, and then I'll be impressed. How the fuck am I making this about myself? At least I'm talking about it. Not everyone has $250K to just give to people. Would love to, but I didn't grow up with much money, and Def haven't made as much as her. At least I speak up about shit that's uncomfortable to talk about rather than trying to be politically correct 24/7. First of all, the donation was not for you, it didn't concern you, so I don't know why you're under the impression that she has to impress you. Second of all, you were mad that she's silent, and then when she made a private donation, you still discredited it. Third of all, Demi complaining about money, and I get not everyone just throws money, especially not $250,000 because that's a lot. But Demi tried to downplay it like she wasn't charging $10,000 for a meet and greet on her tour with Nick Jonas. Now listen, I do like some of Demi's music and I like Nick Jonas, but why are they charging $10,000 for any type of ticket? They aren't Beyonce, and I don't even think Beyonce charges that much. But that's just a rarity price you would expect from megastars, not Miss Sony with a chance. And let's not forget her pointless drama that involved the living legend Mariah Carey herself. The drama began when a fan posted a meme on Instagram that compared a photo of Mariah Carey to Ariana Grande. When you order online versus when it arrives, the text said, seeming to imply that Grande doesn't live up to Carey's musical talent. Demi seemed to think Mariah made this herself for some odd reason. This meme and drama wouldn't even have seen the day of light, but Demi was bored I guess and decided to start drama. In response to the meme, Lovato wrote, "You got it the wrong way around, honey." After she received backlash, she went on to attempt to clarify her statement saying, "Mariah is a legend and is so talented but constantly disses people. It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer Lopez. Ari did nothing wrong. Jen keeps it classy, but I'm not afraid to say shit. Mariah's a mean person for no reason. Extremely talented, yes. Superhuman, possibly. Unnecessarily rude, absolutely." Bringing Jennifer Lopez into it, which at this point was like a near 2-decade-old feud, also something that has nothing to do with Demi and something she clearly didn't know the history of, it was so uncalled for. She's attacking Mariah as if Mariah made the meme herself, which I'm pretty sure she thought Mariah did, which is just stupid. Mariah responded in true Mariah fashion when asked about Demi's comments on her. She said, "I don't know her either, and so I wouldn't say anything to her. She should come up to me, introduce herself to me, say, here's my opinion, what do you think about it? That's how you handle shit, okay?" And let's not forget the time she scapegoated Nicki Minaj and blamed her for wanting to resort to alcohol over something literally so minuscule it's ridiculous. Nicki and Demi both wore the same designer to the Met Gala that year in 2016 and hit the red carpet with Jeremy Scott. After Nicki shared one of the photos on Instagram and didn't tag everyone in the photo, Demi took notice, writing on Snapchat, "When you aren't mentioned in the post but didn't do shit to the person." Literally getting mad over not being tagged in a photo. Like, you're famous, not a big deal, right? Just a simple mistake, not even a mistake, maybe just a slip of mind. Either way, they're famous, so why is it really even necessary to tag you in a photo anyways? Demi followed that up with the Instagram of the photo, writing, "This pretty much summed up my first and probably last Met," along with hashtags including "so fucking awkward, not for me," and the classic "what's good." She also wrote, "P.S. Some of y'all need to learn how to take a joke. I'm obviously laughing at the fact that 1, I look incredibly awkward, and 2, that the shade being thrown in this picture actually gives me life." So once again, she downplays what she initially said and says it's a joke. And mind you, it's okay for Demi to not like the Met or feel like it wasn't for her. That's a normal human reaction, but to take it that far over not being tagged in a photo, then reigniting the same conversation 2 years later in 2018, going on to say it was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink. And people obviously blame that on Nicki, and it's not in the slightest bit fair, especially when Demi was just saying that it was a joke and the picture gave her life, and now 2 years later you're pushing a more damaging narrative. I feel like she used Nicki as a scapegoat, as pity, because she was salty about something so minuscule. And more recently, we've all seen the Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift drama unfold over her masters, and of course Demi Lovato jumps in over something she has nothing to do with. And it's like she can't compare her experience with Scooter because she hasn't known him long enough, and neither has she had the same experiences, so her getting involved was pointless. And Todrick Hall called her out, saying, "Dear Demi, first off, why did you delete your tweet? Secondly, I love you and listen to your music religiously, but thirdly, you cannot compare your experience to mine, especially with someone I was with for 6 years and you've only just signed with." And he told the truth, and she announced that she was going on a social media break. Demi Lovato is talented and undoubtedly one of the best voices of our generation. Even though I'm not a big fan of her music, I do like some of her songs and I respect some of her advocacy and what she does, even though I don't agree with a lot of it or the way she goes about it. I honestly don't think she should be on social media a lot. Social media has led to a lot of negative attention for her. She's come across a bit attention hungry and narcissistic at times. And I think it's best she just gives it a break and restricts her time on social media indefinitely.